Is Empress Lilandra Neramani enough to justify the price of this 50th Anniversary Wolverine 2-pack? Will the Lilandra action figure fit in with your X-Men 97 action figure collection? Which is Hasbro's basis for the Lilandra costume design? Do we need to add the Brood-infected Wolverine to the growing number of Hasbro Marvel Legends Wolverine action figures? How good are the Brood Wolverine's claws? Are they flimsy? How do the figures scale with 1/12 scale figures and 7-inch scale action figures? This particular costume of Lilandra resembles her 90s look, in particular how she looked in Uncanny X-Men number 275. In terms of the helmet's back, the design resembles the X-Men 97 look. The overall shape of the helmet is different compared to X-Men 97. Looking closely at her torso, those are sculpted lines. The belt on her waist is not a separate piece, it is sculpted on. In terms of the red medallion, which is flower-like in shape, it is glued on. So if you try to lift the cape, the blue cape from the back, you cannot remove it. There is a peg on the cape which you can peg into a hole on her back. A slight difference from the Gimli art is her armpits is not covered with armor, it is black. Same is true for X-Men 97, where most of her arm is not covered with armor. For the legs, you can see that it does match how it looks with the Gimli art. Top of her boots is sculpted on. And there is now a part of her upper thigh which is not covered with armor. From the back, we can see that Lilandra has double-jointed pinless elbows and she has double-jointed pinless knees. Hasbro did a good job sculpting the details of her armor. She has a protective plate covering her knees. When you remove the hand, this particular wristband is a separate piece, so be careful not to lose it. Now going through the hands that she comes with a pair of weapon holding hands. There is no unique sculpted details on these silver hands, it's your generic weapon holding hand. The gold plastic scepter she comes with can be held by either weapon holding hands. There are parts of the scepter's stick which is wider, so in some parts it would be loose when she holds it. Looking at the scepter, there are sculpted details on it. This is your typical Hasbro weapon wherein it won't break. It's not like brittle, it's very flexible. There are no painted details. It's just really a gold plastic. It's not shiny at all. It is light gold in color. She comes with one right hand, which has a gesture of pushing or probably running, or maybe this will allow her to make a salute. She has one left closed fist hand. All of her hands can hinge forward and back. You can say that Lilandra is a little bit light in terms of the number of accessories. Now she is ready to perform her salute since you can hinge it like that. And there is Lilandra, ready to greet and salute Gladiator and the Imperial Guard. In the comments below, please let me know whether this Lilandra action figure makes it worth purchasing this 2-pack with Wolverine. Are you happy with the number of accessories that she comes with? Thank you for choosing to watch this review and stick with me.
I'm Tuggernaut!
Since 2019, the Silver Sable from the Kingpin Build-A-Figure wave is the go-to body mold if you want to kit bash and make a Lilandra action figure. The Lilandra head sculpt comes from the accessories of the 2019 Walgreens exclusive Mystique. The shape of the helmet of the 2019 head sculpt is a little bit different. It somewhat matches how it looks in the comic books and in the X-Men 97 series. The black tattoo-like marking that extends from her eyebrows to the side of her cheek is different compared to the new one because this is more accurate to how she looks during the 1980s. This is a bit of a modern take for the brand new head sculpt. You can see the photoreal tech of her blue eyes. The 2019 head sculpt has pink eyes. The strange thing is both figures do not match her actual eyes as per Marvel.com, which is supposed to be orange. Looking at the back, the sculpted details is different from both figures, wherein the 2019 has the shape of her head. In the comments below, let me know which head sculpt do you prefer. Using the Walgreens exclusive head sculpt on the brand new Lilandra body, you can see that the Walgreens head sculpt has a matte gray finish, which does not match the shiny silver paint of the new body. Comparing with the other 2-packs from the Wolverine 50th anniversary, you can see each character in the 2-pack has a alternate head sculpt, while this particular set does not come with any alternate head. A missed opportunity to add a head sculpt wherein Lilandra does not have a helmet and you can see her rectangular shaped black hair, or an angry head sculpt with white eyes. Something similar to the Wolverine and Psylocke 2-pack wherein Psylocke came with a neutral head sculpt and an angry head sculpt with white eyes. From the top of her head, the action figure is approximately 15 centimeters or 5.9 inch tall. According to the Impulse trading card, she is 5 feet 11 inches tall. For 1/12 scale conversion, this is spot on even if Marvel Legends are 6-inch scale figures. Marvel Legends size comparison with X-Men 97 Nightcrawler and X-Men 97 Wolverine. Next we have Jubilee and Rogue. Next we have X-Men 97, Jean Grey and Cyclops, which I reviewed recently. X-Men 97, Goblin Queen and Magneto. Next we have is the Scarlet Spider and the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man. Side by side with the Terran Man that captured her heart, we have House of X, Professor X, and the 80 Years Professor X. Beside her Imperial Guard, we have Gladiator and Pan. Besides some Star Jammers, we have the Build-A-Figure Chod and Corsair. For some uncanny X-Men number 275 team uniform group, we have Forge, Storm, Jubilee, Wolverine, Banshee, Psylocke, and Gambit. 1/12 scale MAFEX Psylocke and 7-inch scale Marvel Select Psylocke. MAFEX Gambit and the Marvel Select Gambit. Marvel Legends 6-inch scale Sabretooth and 7-inch scale Marvel Select Sabretooth. Marvel Legends Juggernaut and the Marvel Select Juggernaut. Marvel Legends 80 Years of Marvel Hulk and Marvel Select Hulk. Loose Collector's Darna, a Filipino superhero, and Coffin Comics Lady Death. Her neck has a double dumbbell peg. She can move from side to side. She can look up that far. She can look down. Her arms can extend this far. Her arms can do a full 360, but some difficulty because of the cape hindering it. She has a bicep swivel right here. She has double jointed pinless elbows. She has an upper torso swivel which allows her to crunch backward that far and crunch forward that far. She can do a split. She has an upper thigh swivel. She has a double jointed pinless knees. She can kick that far back. She can kick forward. Her feet can hinge forward and back, and she has an ankle rocker. The brand new angry Brood-infected Wolverine head sculpt has red eyes. Comparing the teeth with the Mark Silvestri art, it's a bit hard to say if it's comic book accurate. You can see the lips of the Brood is different from the lips of this action figure. It has a movable jaw and the tongue is painted on. Comparing side by side with Mark Silvestri art, it's really hard to say if it is indeed comic book accurate. We can say that the costume design is solely based on the cover art of Uncanny X-Men number 234 because he was wearing the brown costume at that time. The torso is a brown plastic painted with orange or lemon yellow. You can see that the paint has chipped off on the sculpted pieces of his muscle. It's a bit disappointing how this keeps on happening to me. Recently, I reviewed the Angel action figure, and a similar thing has happened wherein the red plastic underneath the white paint got removed. Same is true for this Wolverine wherein the sculpted obliques is now showing the brown plastic underneath. Let me know in the comments below whether you encountered the same problem with this brown costume Wolverine. For this figure, his arms is brand new with double jointed pinless elbows and some sculpted lines and with a wash to highlight the muscles. For his open palm expressive hands, the claws are out. It is silver and it is not the flimsy type of claws. This is the X-Men animated series claws, which is used as well for X-Men 97. In terms of his legs, you can see it seems to be a reuse because it has double jointed knees with pins. As mentioned in my other reviews, I don't mind having pins as long as they are the same color as the part they are connected to. From the back, you can see some sculpted details on his boots. His red plastic belt is a separate piece. He comes with a pair of open palm expressive hands with the claws out. This is an unusual pair of hands because usually Wolverine comes with closed fist hands with claws out. We can say that this is inspired by the cover of Uncanny X-Men 234 wherein Wolverine's hands are open palm with claws out, consistent to the Andy Kubert art for the packaging. He comes with a pair of closed fist hands now without any claws out. The cover for his 3 claws on each hand is painted silver and sculpted on. This seems to be a reuse of a sculpt for Wolverine's closed fist hands. In the comments below, let me know, are you satisfied with the accessories this Wolverine comes with? Since the head sculpt has a movable jaw, do you think one head sculpt is enough? Let me know in the comments below. One good thing about this figure is the claws, because this is the claws that came with the X-Men 97 Wolverine. It is not flimsy, it's not removable as well, but it really looks good. The closed fist hands between the two looks the same. It's just a different color plastic. The upper torso seems to be the same with the X-Men 97 based on how the muscle is sculpted on. I suspect the legs is a reuse of the Wolverine from the Juggernaut wave, where you can see the muscles sculpted on looks exactly the same. It seems to be the same as well with the Wolverine from the retro card pack because of how the muscle is sculpted on the upper thigh. Same is true for the boots. You can see the boots has some folds on the brown costume Wolverine compared to the X-Men 97. No issue, just want to point out the difference. For some kit bash, you can use the Brood head on the X-Men 97 body. Since the Brood head is tight on the X-Men 97, I seem to doubt whether they are the same upper torso. For a MAFEX versus Marvel Legends, here we have the brown costume Wolverine. For MAFEX, you can see the difference in terms of the color of orange. Similar to the Brood Wolverine, I had a paint chipped on this particular piece, which is a common issue for MAFEX on this particular part of the oblique. When you articulate the upper torso, the paint would be chipped out if you don't heat the figure properly. But overall, this is an excellent MAFEX action figure. Going to the Marvel Legends, you can see we're in the obliques. The orange got removed, as I mentioned a while ago. So I'm not lucky at all with this brown costume Wolverines. I'm not sure why. In terms of the claws, you can see this bear-like shaped claw for this Wolverine. For MAFEX, I really like this claws, though it seems so exaggerated, but it does kind of look cool. But the X-Men 97 or this particular claws is still good for Marvel Legends. You can do a kit bash using the Brood Wolverine head sculpt on the MAFEX body. It fits just fine. It doesn't seem to be too small of a head. Better use blue tack because the neck peg is different so that the head would stay on top of his shoulders. Comparing the claws, here we have the Wolverines with the flimsy type of old claws. We have the Weapon X Wolverine, the Love Triangle Wolverine, and the X-Men team costume Wolverine. It is the same as well for the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, wherein you can see the claws are not in the proper position right now. I hope Hasbro would stop using this type of claws. Next we have is the X-Force Wolverine claws, which is one of the best claws of Marvel Legends. You can see that it's been used for House of X Wolverine and the Hot Claws Wolverine. Next we have somewhat a MCU type of claws. We have the Hugh Jackman Wolverine with this type of claws. Again, the appropriate claws for this Wolverine is this one, which is more comic book like or cartoon like. Forgot to mention the X-Babies Wolverine, which has somewhat a similar claw. Not so flimsy at all. The figure stands 14 centimeters. According to the Impulse Trading card, he is supposed to be 5 feet 3 inches tall. For 1/12 scale conversion, this makes this Wolverine a little bit tall. 6-inch scale size comparison beginning with Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine and Nightcrawler. Next we have is Jubilee and the Retro Rogue. X-Men 97, Jean Grey and Cyclops. Next we have X-Men 97, Goblin Queen and Magneto. We have the Dark Phoenix and we have Binary. Next we have Hasbro action figures whose costume design appeared less in comic books. First we have the Captain Cade, which appeared for a couple of issues of Marauders. And we have the J. Scott Campbell Rogue, which appeared only on the cover of a J. Scott Campbell variant cover. On the other hand, this Wolverine appeared in 3 pages of Uncanny X-Men number 234. Next we have the Imperial Guard, Gladiator, and Fang. Besides 1/12 scale figure MAFEX Gambit and the 7-inch scale Marvel Select Gambit, the 1/12 scale MAFEX Psylocke and the 7-inch scale Marvel Select Psylocke, 6-inch scale Juggernaut and the 7-inch scale Marvel Select Juggernaut, Marvel Legends Sabretooth and Marvel Select Sabretooth. We have Marvel Legends 80 years anniversary of Marvel Hulk and Marvel Select Hulk. For some loose collector ladies, we have Darna, a Filipino superhero, and Coffin Comics Lady Death. For articulation, his head can move up that far. He has a ball peg with a hinge. His arms can extend that far. He can do a full 360 right here. He has a butterfly joint which can extend his arm that far back or extend that far front. He has a bicep swivel, a little bit loose right now there. Just need to press it on. He has double jointed pinless elbows. The bicep prevents him from extending further. He has a wrist swivel. He can hinge forward and back. He can crunch forward that far. He can crunch backward that far. He has a waist swivel right here. He can do a split. He has a upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees with pins. He can kick forward that far. He has a ankle rocker, can hinge forward and back. He has a hidden lower calf swivel. For the packaging, this 2-pack comes in the standard Wolverine 50th Anniversary box with a window. On the side, we have art by Andy Kubert of Wolverine. On the other side is the same art. Since the art on the back does not have Lilandra. Here we have a short read up. Pause it right now if you want to have a look. On top, we have Wolverine Lilandra 50 years anniversary. At the bottom, we have some warning and some legalities. Removing the box, we can see the figures and the accessories they came with. Both figures come with a pair of alternate hands. The background in yellow has comic panel art from Uncanny X-Men number 234. The comic panel comes from the 3 pages wherein this Brood Wolverine appeared. The recommended retail price for this 2-pack is $49.99 USD. For Australia, the recommended retail price is 99 AUD. Unfortunately, Tuggernaut Collectibles has no access to this particular 2-pack, so I had to purchase it from Sing Pop Culture, which is the GameStop partner in Australia. My final thoughts. Overall, a very underwhelming 2-pack compared to the other 3 2-packs from the Wolverine 50th Anniversary wave. The other 3 comes with 2 heads and a total of 4 hands. Besides the 2-pack with a large Hulk, the other 2 came with accessories. Though the Lilandra action figure is really good in terms of sculpt and design, it really lacks a alternate head wherein Lilandra has a different expression or is without the helmet. For this Brood Wolverine, it's just alright. I'm not sure whether this was the Wolverine people were looking for. Power of X-Men mentioned that they were expecting a Mark Silvestri style of Wolverine wherein the mask has a sharp edge. Despite of expectation not met, I still think this is a good looking Wolverine, but not really a must-have or a must-add to a collection, especially that he only appeared in 3 pages. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing, ringing the notification bell, and checking out other reviews I have on the channel. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and find it useful. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and ring the notification bell.